Well, hello, and welcome back to another video. This will probably be a part one of two because I have so much that I could say about studying abroad. The first thing that I want to say is that if you're watching this and you are curious, I am definitely pro studying abroad. I think that it's something that everyone should consider doing if they have the means and opportunity and their major allows it. So we are going to be talking about my personal experience and maybe some nuggets of advice in between. But yeah, so let's just get right into it. From the very beginning, I knew that I wanted to study abroad in Ireland. I had a friend slash mentor who did so when she was in college. She studied abroad in Limerick, and so I've always loved Ireland, and so I was like, if I'm studying abroad, it's going to be in Ireland. I don't care if it makes sense or not. I'm going to make it happen, and this is where I want to go. So when it came around to my sophomore year, I was like, okay, this is the best time to do it for my major. At the time, what I thought I was going to do, I had this like window of opportunity where I could study abroad, and so I was like, bet, we're doing it. I started applying, and I had to do, letters of recommendation and essays and all this hoopla. But my university forgot to mention, or I was just not smart enough to realize this, was only doing direct exchange with the University of Limerick for kinesiology majors, and I am not a kinesiology major. So the day before Limerick's deadline was due, I found out that I had to do a direct apply instead. And so I did that, but it was so simple and easy. I was like, why did I do all of this when I could have just done that? It was like one page of information and bam, like I was basically accepted. Not really, it took a couple weeks, and actually they lost my mail, and so they had to email me, and I was like, did I get in? Like, I was supposed to hear by a certain date, and I haven't heard yet. Did I just not get in? So that was kind of like miscommunication or just an unfortunate series of events. Totally forgot about that happening, but I got in eventually, and I found my housing, and I was like, bet, I'm going to Ireland. I bought all the stuff that I needed because it's rainy and cold in Ireland, so I had to buy like rain jackets and umbrellas and thermal underwear and basically things that will keep me warm and dry. And rain boots, don't forget that. So right before I was about to leave, my dog actually got sick, and so I deferred going for orientation. I postponed my flights, and I was like, I'm not making a decision yet. That was really hard. I contemplated what I was going to do, whether we needed to put Biscuit down, whether I would go to Ireland, how those things affected each other. And so we ended up putting Biscuit down about a week later, and I ended up going to Ireland a week late. I arrived on Sunday, and classes started on Monday, so I missed all of orientation. I had no idea where any of my classes were, how I got anything, grocery stores, bedding. I was just like, well, I'm here, and I guess that counts. So the first week was very chaotic, trying to figure out what classes to take. The classes that I wanted to take were dropped, so I had to find filler classes, and the classes I wanted to take conflicted with my major classes. So that was a whole ordeal, but I finally figured it out by the second week. I took 2 journalism classes, a film class, and my fun class, which was equestrian. We'll probably talk about academics mostly for this video, and I'll save the sentimental friendships for the next one because that one needs a whole dedicated video for it. But yeah, academics was very different studying abroad. I think this is very important if you want to study abroad because if you're from America, you are used to a completely different school system. They do things by majors, so you don't really get to choose your classes as much as you do in America. You go in with a certain major, and then they kind of are like, well, these are the classes you're taking this semester, and so on. So I went into classes where everyone knew each other. They had either been with each other for 1 semester, 2 years, or 4 years in some cases. I only took one class, which was my film class, which was like half study abroad students and half major. Like that was their major, but my other 3 classes, like I was one of the only study abroad students. There was probably, I was one of the only ones in one of them, and then there were like 2 or 3 in the other ones. So I was very much the outcast, and I didn't really know what was going on because, like I said, they stay with each other through the years of college, and so I had to jump in, and I kind of paired up with the other study abroad students, kind of made friends with some of the students from Ireland, but not really. And they do school different there. My film class was very much essay based, or not essay, sorry, that's American schools, very much exam based. We did not have an essay at all. There were 2 exams, and I'm pretty sure that those 2 exams were the grade in the class. My journalism class had 1 project. At the very end, it was radio journalism, so we didn't even meet for 90% of the semester. We met about 3 or 4 times on Monday, but all the other Mondays we didn't meet, and our whole assignment the entire semester was this final project, which I honestly didn't think about until like a month before it was due, so that's like fun. That was very chaotic at the end, but an easy class the rest of the time, obviously. Procrastination. And then I had the normal journalism feature writing class, which had a lot of assignments and writing, so not really exam based. And then I had equestrian, which I thought was going to be my fun class, but was actually the bane of my existence. I hated it so much. Any of my friends in Ireland at the time, and even some back home, would hear me rant about the latest and greatest that happened in class that day. It was every Wednesday, and it was from like 12 p.m. to 5 p.m. or something like that. We had lecture, and then we had like a 30-minute lunch break, and then we had actual writing lesson time. And so whatever we learned in class that day is the type of discipline that we would be practicing. But I was a Western writer coming into this. I had never really written English ever, and it's like basically learning how to ride again, because the saddle's different, how you sit on the horse is different, how you control the horse is different. Basically everything is different. The horses are even different, commands, like it's just totally a game changer. So I was very not in my elements. So I really recommend choosing easy classes when you study abroad, because you're not there, I mean, you're there to study, but you're there to like make friends and travel. And I actually had a roommate who took a lot of hard science classes, and she was very stressed most of the semester because of all the hard classes she was in, versus taking like Irish music and dance, you know, and like fun classes. So I only took 4 classes, the bare minimum, and I didn't spend a lot of time studying equestrian because, 1, it's not my major, and I mean, it was interesting, but I didn't like super care about it. It had a lot of science and anatomy, which like went way over my head, and they would reference things from previous semesters that I had no idea happened. So definitely didn't do that well in that class. Their grades are really different. They do like A1, A2, A3, B1, B2, B3. And I think I got a D in that class, like a D, 2 or 3. But they like transferred it at my college to like education, like physical education, like a PE class. So I was like, bet. In my other classes, I got my journalism classes, I got B's in, and then my film class, I got like a C in because it was just 2 exams, and again, you didn't really spend a lot of time studying. So yeah, that's what's really different. They treat studying kind of like we treat an SAT. You can't bring your phone. All you can bring is pencils. It's in a different room. It's at a different time. It's proctored by not even your professor. It's like very serious. They had a whole like class seminar event that we had to go to as study abroad students to talk about this, because they were like, look, we take this seriously, and if you do any of these things wrong, you will fail. And then like if you fail, if you will get like X'd out, like for cheating, but if you fail, then you have to come back in August to retake it. And I honestly think that's why my equestrian professor didn't actually fail me, because like I wasn't about to go back in August to take an equestrian class that doesn't even count for my major. But anywho, wow, we are out of time already, which is super fast. I literally just talk and time just flies. So I guess that's all I have to say about academics for this time with studying abroad, and the next video I do sometime in the future will be all about making friends and traveling and building a community. So I hope you guys found this interesting, and I hope you have a great day. If you have any more questions with more details, please comment down below and I would love to answer them. Okay, awesome. Bye!